folks to a brand new episode from Eventide International on the GMAT Sentence Correction tutorial. In our previous videos, we covered 4 important topics on the GMAT Sentence Correction segment. The first one was meaning of the sentence. The second one was placement of words. The third one was called redundancy, and the fourth one was called concision. Now in this video today, we will cover a very important topic on the GMAT sentence correction segment called idioms. If you haven't watched the previous videos, you can do so by clicking on the link above. Today in this video, we are going to explore how GMAT plays with the idioms. Also, we will get to solve 3 important questions from the actual GMAT test itself. In all our previous videos, we have stressed on the fact that the best way to learn the GMAT course is through application of concepts. We will do the same in this video as well. You will get to solve 3 important questions and apply your skills so that you understand and have a fair grasp of the chapter. Now coming back to the contents of this chapter, we have divided the entire chapter into 3 important parts. In the first part, we will understand what an idiom is, and through an example, we will show you how the GMAT will test you on your idiom skills. In the second part of the chapter, we will provide you with a list of idioms which you will need to memorize for a better grasp of the chapter on your actual GMAT test. In the third part of the video, we will be solving 3 important questions from the actual GMAT test, and we will learn how the GMAT may trick you on the idioms chapter. Before starting this chapter, I'd like to make a very important point over here. For native speakers, this chapter is one of the easiest chapters on the GMAT test. It's because from their childhood, native speakers are exposed to different types of idiomatic expressions. However, for non-native speakers, you will need to learn the chapter, you will need to memorize the idioms because we haven't been exposed to all the idiomatic expressions since our childhood. Let's start. So what exactly is an idiom? An idiom is a structure on English sentences which are intended to depict a meaning to the sentence. Now, the catch is the structure of the idiom will remain the same across the English dictionaries. To give you an example, not only X but also Y is an idiom which is often used in the GMAT test. To emphasize on this, if I tell you, Harry not only drives a car but also plays soccer. See, in this sentence, we have to follow this structure, not only X but also Y. These are idioms. There are several other idioms like compared with and compared to. These 2 idioms have completely different uses. We will go into the depth of the 2 idioms once we go into the detail of the idioms list. Now, in the primary stages, we need to understand that the idiom has got a structure and you will need to follow the structure throughout the GMAT test. To give you another example, necklace is considered to be or necklace is considered as jewelry is wrong. Considered X, Y is the correct form of the idiom. So, necklace is considered jewelry is always right on the GMAT test. So, we have to summarize this, we have understood 2 important things. The idiom is a structure on the English sentences and it has to follow the same format every time you will need to use it. Now, since we have understood what an idiom is and how it is used in sentences, let's very quickly test our natural idiom skills. Let's look at a question and try to find which of the following statement is the correct one as per GMAT standards. Please feel free to pause the video, go through both the statements, analyze both of them, and then come back with the right answer. So are we done solving our first question on the idioms chapter? Let's do it once more together. We will have a formal way to understand how you will need to solve questions associated with the idioms chapter. So there are 3 steps to solve a question that's associated with the idioms chapter. The first step is to identify the idiom. The second step is to find the structure used in the idiomatic expression. And the third step is to compare the idiomatic expression with the correct idiomatic expression as per the GMAT standard. So in this question, were you able to find which one is the idiomatic expression? If you look at it carefully, estimated at or estimated to be is the idiomatic expression. The second thing that we need to know is that there are differences in the idiomatic expressions used in both the statements. The first one uses estimated at and the second one uses estimated to be. Now on the GMAT, the correct way of using this idiom is estimated to be. So in this case, the second statement gives you a correct usage of the idiomatic expression estimated to be. Hence, the second statement is the correct one over here. So we understood how the GMAT will trick you into wrong options through usage of incorrect idiomatic expressions. All we need to do now is remember all the idioms that may be tested on the GMAT test. In all, you will need to remember 54 major idioms that may be tested on your GMAT. I will provide you with the list of all the major idioms on the description section of this video. Please feel free to check out the description section. So the first list of our idioms chapter contains 9 important idioms. Please feel free to take a screenshot of this to get access to the first 9 major idioms. The second page also contains 9 important idioms. However, be very careful with serial number 12, between versus among. Always remember, between is used to compare just 2 things, not more than 2. However, among can compare more than 2 things. So whenever you see a question with a dilemma between and among, please find the number of things that the sentence is trying to compare. Also, be very careful about the serial number 15 idiom, compared to versus compared with. Compared to is used to compare something to something which is ideal, and compared with is the actual comparison. So when you are trying to compare 2 things, both are not ideal, you should use compared with. The third page of the idiom list also contains a few important idioms. Be very careful again with serial number 25, which gives you the usage of due to versus because of. Always remember, due to is used to mean results from an action. However, because can be used anywhere. So be very careful whenever there is a dilemma between due to and because of. This is the fourth page of our idioms list. Be very careful about serial number 37. Like versus such as versus as. Now, you may be tricked through usage of three different idioms into three different cases. Remember always that like is used to compare two nouns. Such as is used to show examples, and as is used to compare two actions. Be very clear about the usage of these three idioms. The fourth page of our idioms list contains another few important idioms. The important idioms in this list are serial number 41, 42 and 46. They have a structure which should be strictly followed on all the questions of the GMAT test. Not X but Y is the correct structure of this idiom. Not X rather Y is incorrect usage according to GMAT standards. Previously discussed, not only X but also Y is also another important idiom. It maintains the same structure throughout the GMAT questions. So if I tell you, Harry not only drives the car but plays soccer, this is a wrong statement. Harry not only plays soccer but also drives the car is the correct statement. Also, you will need to understand the differences between instead of versus rather than. Remember that instead of is used to compare nouns. Nothing other than nouns can be compared using instead of. Rather than can be used to compare phrases. The sixth and the final page of our idioms list contains another few important idioms. The most important idioms in this list is serial number 50 and serial number 52. In serial number 50, you will need to understand what is the difference between unlike and in contrast to. Again, unlike is compared strictly to compare nouns. In contrast to can be used to compare two actions. Similarly, in serial number 52, view X as Y is the correct format of the idiom view X. Viewed X to be Y is incorrect way of using this idiom. So we have discussed 54 different idioms. You can get access to the idioms list in the description section again. Please feel free to download the document and you will have the entire idioms list with you for your ready reference. At the start of today's tutorial, we discussed that the entire chapter has been divided into three important parts. In the first part, we understood what an idiom is and how you may be tested on the GMAT test on the usage of incorrect idioms. We also discussed what are the methods you need to adopt while solving a question associated with incorrect usage of idiomatic expressions. In the second part of the video, we discussed 54 major idioms that may be tested on your GMAT. Before going to the application stage of this chapter, I would like to request you to remember all the 54 idioms that I provided you in the description section. If you haven't yet remembered all the 54 idioms, please don't proceed further in this video. In the next part of the video, we will be taking 3 important questions from the actual GMAT test itself. If you are done remembering all the idioms that I have given you, then let's proceed with the first question. Remember, the challenge is to solve the question without any external help. You have ample amount of time. Take as much time as you would like to take, but please apply the skills that you have learned in this chapter. So the first question is on the screen. Please feel free to pause the video and come back with the correct answer. So are you done solving the first GMAT question on the idioms chapter? Were you able to identify the incorrect usage of different idioms in the 5 different options? Okay, let's do it once more together. If you look at the question carefully, you will be able to find that the question is trying to compare 2 abilities. Humans' ability to keep body temperatures within narrow range to lotus's ability to keep the body temperature within a narrow range. As discussed in the previous sections of the video, the correct way of comparing 2 actions is through the word as. So you should be looking for the word as while comparing 2 actions in this question. Let's go to the option analysis part. In this first option, like humans and other warm-blooded animals, researchers report that. Now in this option, researchers are compared with humans and warm-blooded animals. So this changes the meaning of the sentence. Hence, this option is incorrect. In the second option, option B, they have used like to compare the 2 abilities. You should have used as in this statement. Hence, this statement is also wrong. In the third and the fifth options, they have incorrectly used the idiomatic expression of ability to. They have used ability of. Hence, you can strike both the statements just by looking at the 2 words ability of. Hence, in this case, option D is the correct option. If you look at it carefully, they have used the correct word to compare the 2 actions as. You see how the GMAT can trick you? Through usage of incorrect idiomatic expressions. Be very careful about the idioms that are used in the sentences and the correct way to use such idioms. If you're done with this question, let's move forward and go to our next question. Remember, this is also a question from the actual GMAT test. Please feel free to pause the video again and find the correct answer. Are you done solving the second GMAT question from the idioms chapter? I know this had been pretty easy for you to solve. If you have remembered all the idioms that we mentioned, then this shouldn't have taken you more than 10 seconds to solve. The first thing was to identify what idiom the sentence is trying to use. The original statement uses an idiom credited as. However, the correct form of this idiom is credited with. So all the options which are using any idiom structure other than credited with is wrong. Option A uses credited as. Option C uses credited to. Option D uses credited as. And option E uses credited for. All the structures are wrong. Option B uses the correct form of this idiom, credited with. Hence, option B is the correct option for this question. You see, it didn't take me more than 10 seconds to solve this question. Once you remember all the idioms from the 54 idioms list, things will be pretty easy for you. Okay, let's move forward to the final question in today's video. This question is also from the actual GMAT test. Please feel free to pause the video and come back with the correct answer. Don't think about time right now. It's your initial stage of preparation. It may take some time, but it's important that you get to the correct answer. Were you able to solve your final question on this idiom chapter? Were you able to identify which idiom the sentence is trying to use? Now, if you look at the question carefully, the sentence is trying to use the correct idiom, not only X but also Y. So any option which uses any other structure other than not only X but also Y is incorrect. Option A uses not only X and also Y. This is incorrect. Option C and option E uses not only X and Y. This is again the incorrect structure of the idiom. So we are left with two options, option B and option D. Option B uses a grammatically incorrect statement if the claims should be. Hence, option B is also wrong. Option D is the correct option in this case. We have learned that there are idioms which follows a specific structure. You will never ever need to deviate from the structure mentioned in the idioms list. To summarize what we have learned in today's video, there are certain structures in English sentences which do not deviate from their original structure. These are called idioms. Now, how to solve questions with idiomatic expressions? All you need to do is to find the idiom, compare the correct structure of the idiom with the structure used in the sentence, and strike off all the options using incorrect methods of using the idiom. That's it for today's video, folks. I know this video has been a very long video for today, but we have understood one of the most important chapter of the GMAT sentence correction segment called the idioms. In our next video, we are going to discuss another important chapter called subject-verb agreement. Thanks again for watching this video.